Hello kings and queens and everyone in between, my name is JJ and welcome to Skincraft. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from my usual educational videos because we're going to be trying something new in a little segment I like to call Skincare Storytime.
Yay!
Skincare Storytime is where I'll be telling a moderately entertaining story while doing my skincare. And today's beauty treatment will be red light therapy with the LightStim handheld. For those of you that don't know, red light therapy is a great way to induct new forms of collagen. The LightStim handheld offers varying degrees of red, amber, and infrared light. Red light will help to increase the ATP energy within the mitochondria of your cells so that they can perform at optimal levels. The cells within your skin have many objectives, such as aiding in healing, increasing collagen synthesis, as well as helping to maintain balance. And as long as those cells have the energy they need to perform their job, it'll always keep your skin looking great. Today's story is going to be featuring a little celebrity known as Charlize Theron. So sit back, relax, listen to my tale, and watch as I rejuvenate my skin. Okay, so back in the day, way back in the day, I was working at a medical spa clinic in Beverly Hills as well as BCBG on Rodeo Drive. I was hired on there as a stylist, so the bulk of my job consisted of me playing dress up with middle-aged women. And working in the industry that I do, especially in the area that I perform my job, I do meet a lot of celebrities. So I don't really get starstruck too often, but there was one fateful day when my manager told me Charlize Theron was going to be doing a drop-by to pick up a few items. And while I was picking my jaw up off of the floor, I was trying to decide what was I going to wear, what was I going to show her, and what was I going to do to make sure I looked amazing. So baby JJ thought it would be a really good idea to go and get a skincare treatment done at the med spa. I'm not really sure why I thought my skin looking amazing was going to help me do a better job at styling Charlize Theron, but I digress. So I head on over to the med spa for my appointment that I was working part-time at the time. And as I was talking to the esthetician about what kind of treatment that I wanted done, she told me the best course of action was to do a rejuvenating facial. And of course, being in my early 20s at the time, I thought I knew best. So naturally, I told her I wanted to do an aggressive chemical peel. After about 20 to 25 minutes of the esthetician trying to talk me off the ledge of doing an aggressive chemical peel versus just doing a facial, she finally caved and started mixing up the retinoic acid. Now, I'd had a couple chemical peels in my time, but they were usually enzymatic, so they weren't too aggressive, like alpha-beta peels and so on and so forth. This peel, on the other hand, was for moderate to deep-set wrinkles, and it was a 20% retinoic acid peel. So after the esthetician was finished prepping my skin with acetone, she began to apply the retinoic acid peel. I'm not gonna lie, the peel stung like a bitch. And I began to regret my decision of insisting on doing something more invasive. So after the peel had done its job, the esthetician neutralized my face and I went on my way. In my mind, I thought this was going to be great. Charlize Theron was coming in just 2 days' time. I had just done a chemical peel to live my best life with my best skin ever, and I just knew we were going to find some amazing outfits for her next red carpet. What I didn't count on was my face was going to be matching that red carpet. So 2 days had passed, and it was finally the day where Charlize was going to come in and grace me with her presence. I was getting ready for work and applying my morning skincare, and I couldn't believe how tight my skin looked. It looked amazing, and I was so grateful that the redness had subsided to some degree. So I head into work for my 12 to 8 p.m. shift. Now, what I didn't realize at the time was Charlize wasn't going to be coming in until after hours, so we were going to be closing the store down so we could personal shop for her. So naturally, the entire store was so excited and everyone was buzzing around. We just could not wait for the store to close at 8 o'clock so that we could service Charlize thereafter. So the time finally came. We locked the doors and started shutting down the store and tidying up for Charlize's arrival. I was assigned to start gathering and drumming up some preliminary looks for her. I didn't quite know what kind of looks Charlize was going to be interested in, but in these types of scenarios, the owner of the business will supply the celebrity with hundreds of dollars in gift cards so they can just come in and get whatever they want. So all the employees are scurrying around the store, and all of a sudden we hear a knock, knock, knock at the front glass doors. We all look over, and then we suddenly see 2 big bodyguards waiting for us to open the door. So the managers head down to open the door and let them in. So as they opened the door, one security guard stayed outside to help assist Charlize out of the car while the other came inside to scope out the area. And then soon thereafter, Charlize came strolling in. She looked absolutely phenomenal. She was so warm and sweet, and she personally greeted each and every one of us. She asked us all what our names were, and then we were quickly assigned to assist her. So myself and a couple other stylists started taking Charlize around the store to kind of showcase our inventory. Now, from what I recall, she was given 2 $500 gift cards by Max Azria. So she could literally spend that money on whatever she wanted for whatever red carpet look she was trying to aspire to. So I start taking her around. I'm showing her a couple of dresses, some different shoes and belts, accessories, etc. And from that, there were quite a few articles of clothing that she was interested in, but one in particular, we didn't have her size on the floor, so I offered to go back in the stockroom and locate it for her. So I locate the garments in her size and I run them back out to her in the front of the house. I just remember her being super thankful that I was able to find her size and that she started drumming up a conversation with me about Hollywood and the film industry. She was telling me about various TV shows that she was working on behind the scenes and that she was slowly stepping away from movies so she could focalize some of her attention on more television-driven media. I specifically remember her telling me that she felt that at the time, TV was pushing the envelope a lot further than movies were, and that this was a lot more interesting to her because you could really flesh out a character and the story. Through our conversation, I noticed that at one point she became a little docile and she seemed a little upset, so I remember asking her if she was okay or if there was anything I could bring her, and she started telling me that earlier that day her little puppy had passed away. She started showing me a couple of photos on her phone. It just broke my heart that she was suffering through that time. The loss of a pet is so traumatic, but she was powering through and getting a little retail therapy. It was at that point that I asked her if she would care for a glass of champagne, and she replied yes, so I headed back to the employee area to gather the champagne. In doing so, I passed the employee fit check mirror, and I realized that about a third of my face was peeling off in chunks. So naturally, I was completely mortified that I had been having this in-depth conversation with Charlize Theron. Meanwhile, my face was flaking off and falling to the floor. Now, the first thing any esthetician is going to tell you about your post-care for your peel is wear your sunscreen, and absolutely under no circumstances whatsoever do you prematurely peel the skin off. There was no way I was going to head back out there with her champagne with chunks of skin flapping around in the wind. So naturally, I grabbed my pair of pliers and started pulling my face apart. So I slowly started to peel off the areas of skin that were already peeling. Primarily, this was around my mouth and my nasolabial fold area, so I started peeling that back. And as I did, it was revealing bright, fire engine red skin underneath. But I couldn't stop now, so I continued on. After I was done, I gathered Miss Theron's champagne and headed back out there looking like Freddy Krueger. So I'm heading back out there with great hesitation and embarrassment to pass over the champagne to Charlize, and thank God she had the good sense not to say anything to me about my botched up face. My manager, however, noticed my tomato mug and quickly pulled me into the office. I got a long line of questioning of how it was that I could go in the back to grab champagne and come out looking like I had taken sandpaper to my face. After breaking down in tears of embarrassment, they reluctantly allowed me to re-enter the floor. And regardless of the fact that I looked like Sloth from the Goonies, we did manage to pull some really great looks together for her, and she seemed to be really impressed by the entire team. I'm just glad I didn't have a Mrs. Doubtfire moment with some of my skin falling into her champagne. One lump or two.
One drop or two. Would you like another one? Oh, there you go.
I had the following day off, so I had lots of time to reflect on the atrocities that had transpired the night before. During that time, I got a text message from one of my coworkers informing me that Charlize had personally dropped off milk and cookies for the stylists. Of course, I didn't believe her. I thought she was just trying to make me feel better about my skin flaking off all over the place the night before, but then she followed it up by sending me a photo of the card addressed to me as well as the milk and cookies. I mean, that is so sweet. What a class act. Instead of suing the company for emotional distress over my face, she decided to send pastries. Suffice it to say, I learned my lesson about chemical peels and proper post-care. In all seriousness though, if you ever get a chemical peel, do not prematurely peel the skin off. It can cause damage, permanent hot spots, and even discoloration. However, if you're interested in red light therapy and you want to know more about how it works, I'm going to go ahead and link a video below. I did a very in-depth video on varying types of red light as well as blue light, but I also went into detail about why a lot of red light masks might not actually be giving you the results they claim they do. I go over different types of LED lights as well as the power output and the inner workings of these masks and what makes a good one. So if you're interested in that video, check the links down below. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed my very first skincare story time. If you're looking for more content like this, please let me know. Drop a comment down below and give us a like. Okay guys, see you in the next one.